Okay, welcome to another live stream. Just processing through the moves, finding that there's quite a bit of variation. There's been some, relatively, they can be turned into heroic sort of moments. The stories that can be generated from the results, drawing the cards. So I'm really thinking that the Bard as a role, with them being able to interpret the results and paint a picture and create a story. I think that could be quite interesting how that can happen. So I'm just going to pull up the Word document that I've basically been putting them into. So I've created stories for each of the provinces, and what I've done is I've gone through and I've taken the 4 adventuring parties and put them together into a company. Then what I've got is effectively, well, when I've put in here sponsor, it's not a sponsor in a traditional, in the Renegade sense of the word. What I'm wanting is a sponsor to be, most of the time the sponsor isn't in the field with the company. The sponsor has put together a package. They may have actually supplied items from their armory to assist in the goal, achieving the strategic goals. They may have selected the individuals for the group, for the company, and they may have a set of orders that they wish to be followed. So there's the strategic goal of the sponsor. So in this case, we've got the 4 adventuring parties, and all I've done is I've made it so that Olive Duck happens to be the master who has been nominated or has sweet talked everyone into being the leader of the company. Anyway, so what I've done is I've put together a strategic goal, and so the strategic goal gives like an overview of where they want to go. So I've put in the names of the places, the tracks that they're crossing, things like that. And so as it progresses down, it just pretty much shows what their overall strategy is. Now this squiggle, this is basically the geopolitical map, the geo map for Târgoviște. I'm gonna try and pronounce these names better. Târgoviste, but then it's got all the accents and things like that to it as well. So Târgoviște is what I'm going to say. Târgoviște. Anyway, so on this map it has all the different. There's the 4 different companies and what they're going to be trying to do, and so we're going to be focusing on this company to start with. This is Olive Duck, and I'm just going to do a quick run through of how that works. So I'm going to move this back off to the side, but before I do that, what I'm doing is I'm recording all of the moves and the cards and things like that in this document. So I've got an XY, and the XY is based off the XY of the map here. So it's not based off, you can see that I've got an XY coordinates here and here, but that is not the XY for this map. So the XY for this map starts off right up in the top left hand corner and stretches across, and I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen, but down the bottom of paint.net you have this area here that has the XY coordinates. So so the first one that I've got is over here. Now this is I'm calling it Geopolitical Group 1, and so Geopolitical Group 1, what they're going to do is, well, firstly I have the light blue color here to represent them. And so what I'm going to do is, just to start with, I'm going to remove that so that that's no longer visible, and then I'm going to select a 10 point. I'm going to then select the color in a 10 point line, and I'm going to show that they're going to deviate away from the consecrated track at that point, skirt around the outside there. They're going to cross here. Now, if I make it so that it's a, I mean, we've got dedicated bridges and things like this, but in that case, it may be that there's a rope bridge or something that's not perfect but gets the job done. Anyway, so they're going to skirt around the outside of this. Now, that's where I kind of got to, where I decided that I was going to do a live stream about some of the remainder of it. Now, I don't have results for what's happened or anything like that, but look, we may as well just go in, and I'm going to find a bridge. So there's a bridge there. I'm going to select the color for the bridge. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to remove the geo layer. I'm going to then just put, now this is an extremely exaggerated bridge crossing. So the fact is that each one of these pixels is a 10 foot. Now, just for representation purposes, I have put in it's a 10 point wide brush, so it's a bit exaggerated, but it shows up a little bit better when you zoom out on the map. Anyway, moving closer in, we're going to go back to the fog of war. Now I'm going to open up the file for XY coordinates, and I'm going to make that smaller and put it down in this corner here. So what I've been doing is I'm just going to F9 that so you can see. F9 is then changing the results of the movement. It's also changing the serial number. It's also changing, you can see that I've got a fair few alphanumeric options there, so that if there is an encounter that requires multiple results, I can actually copy and paste them into the Word document so that I don't have to keep revisiting and getting different and having to go back and recalculate. I can just do it in one go. Now I'm going to open up the file for the encounters and loot and things like this, and I'm going to go back up to movement, and I'm going to, no, not movement, I'm going to go to encounters and put black over encounters so that the encounter layer is the current one there. So I'll have that in the background as a separate open file. So right now I'm going to go back to here and I'm going to F9. Now that says movement unopposed, so I'm copying that and then I'm going over to here and I'm pasting into there. Now I'm also going to, where are we? Now I know this is the outskirts of a town, and this is all consecrated area, but I figured that I'm going to start with just making sure by creating doing a movement check at this location. So this coordinates is 7844. So 7844, and also it is 7844, and it's 4672. So 4672. All right, so that's movement check 1. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating a movement check every now and then. Now, we talked about previously how frequently. I'm not going to keep putting that onto the screen. I'm just going to keep processing. So we're going to now go and check Fog of War, and then I'm going to check and make that 20 point, and then I'm going to zoom in on that a little bit, and then I'm going to proceed along the coastline and reveal some territory. Now they're on foot, so they're going to stay on the coastline just to try to trace out. Now I think that that's enough to justify another check. So that's 7793. And that is also 4761. So 4761. Okay. Now go back to here, F9, and again we have an unopposed movement. So I'm still determined to record even things like unopposed movements just for the purposes of doing the live stream. I have kind of decided that I don't really care if people doubt me when I say that I'm impartial, that I'm not going to be fudging stats and dice rolls or card draws. So yeah, I'm going to keep recording them just quickly by entering the number and continue on. So alright, so we're going to continue moving, checking that we're still on Fog of War, and then move along the coast. And it looks like we've got a bit of a bay here, and I'm going to just continue along, and I think that justifies another movement check. So again, coordinates of 7877 and 4720 with a movement check showing encounter sighted, engagement optional. So as you can see, I've basically been storing them in the Word document. So that is K4 as a result. So we're going to go up to here. We're going to make sure we're in black over encounters, and then we're going to go to K4. Then I'm going to select the black over encounters K4. I'm going to delete. I'm going to zoom in and then show the result. So what we've got here is a group of settlers from the Samurai Imperium who have basically come to settle. Now, I'm going to cut that. So I've just cut the card from the deck. And now I'm going to paste that in to the Word document. And so look, the thing is that they're not going to just leave these people out in the boonies. Trying to explain why and justify why there are people at this location. Well, there's a couple of different possibilities. One is that they had some unscrupulous who decided to drop them off on a boat, for example, at this location here. Just said, yes, you asked to be taken to Holobov, I've got you to Holobov. Technically, this is still Holobov because it's inside the consecrated area of Holobov. But then they've basically just been left stranded there. So you've got to be very careful what oaths you make. If they say, swear that you'll take me to Holobov, well, they've technically taken you to Holobov. So that's the reason why these individuals might have been just dropped off here. So these are people who are trying to settle. They're settling, coming here from the Samarajay Imperium, and they're going to settle in the area. So effectively, that should be enough for, in terms of movement. They didn't get very far, but there's no way that Olive Duck is going to, just leave them out here. The fact is that by settling them in a place that, for example, if Olive Duck happened to have the title deed to this town, then every settler that they manage to settle here is going to be paying them rental on staying, like a fee to stay in the town. So it's in their best interests. Second thing is that making friends, influencing, they may need these people down the track. In terms of the type of people, well, we're talking about an artisan herbalist, an artisan first aider, apprentice leather worker, apprentice animal handler, and another apprentice herbalist. So it is a diverse group. Anyway, they're not going to continue with going on their objective. They're not going to form up into a group of 25. These are people who have come to the area and they're settling. Now, of course, it could be that you could escort them back to Holobov and then go back again, and they may do so. But I just wanted to complete this move right now, and I'll come back to working on Group 2 moves. That's Amber Imp. I'll do that in a separate video. Alright, so thanks for watching, and if you've got any more information that you'd like, then you could send me a PM, give me a call, or you can check out